Midnight Double Feature presents Bad Crystal, a Breaking Bad podcast. On this episode, we bring you Season 1, Episode 6, Krazy Handful of Nothin, written by George Mistras and directed by Bronwyn Hughes. Colin, welcome back to episode 6 of Bad Crystal. What's happening? How you doing?
Handful of nothing, just like my dick. There we go.
Nah, but ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Awesome. Great fucking intro. Well done. Guys, we are E for explicit.
Yeah.
You know. Just in
this show where we talk about people being kidnapped and murdered over meth, our show's rated E.
Right, exactly. Like we try and dance around it as much as we can.
And he hugs him to death.
He kills him with kindness. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here at Bad Crystal. This is our Breaking Bad podcast where we are going to go through the entire show. Colin's never seen it. I've seen it 3 times. This has been a whole lot of fun. You know, the last 6 episodes have been fucking great. You can check out our mainline podcast, which is called Midnight Double Feature. That's where we post that's where we do a podcast rather about movies. And how do we talk about this, right? Like, I mean, like we do reviews, and then we do like feature presentations, which is us like choosing a movie and covering it sequentially and talking shit about it, going into detail. Is that how you would sell it? I mean, like, look, I've been doing it for over 2 years and I can't even sell it anymore.
I think I'd say 50% of the time we just take a movie every other week and say, hey, we're talking about fucking Bad Santa. We're talking about Flatliners, or we're talking about blah, blah, blah. And we grab it and we talk about that. Other half of the time, that's Matt Villa, our other co-host. That's part of his backyard. That's where he and Zoe have talked about trailers and their reactions to stuff. And, basically more current shit. It's not me picking Young Frankenstein to talk about. It's them. It's like me shaking. It's like me being Clint Eastwood from Gran Torino. It's just like, as they go by me.
Get off my lawn!
Yeah, exactly. It's just me just shitting my pants and waving my cane at them as they ride by on their skateboards. It's like, ah!
Right, exactly. But I mean, no, it's a lot of fun. Midnight Double Feature is fantastic. I love that. Love. I mean, like, honestly, that podcast has changed my life for the better. So it's fantastic. If you guys haven't heard it, go listen to it. Please leave us a rate and review on iTunes, and follow us on our socials, After Party, Midnight Double Feature. And then we're on Instagram, which is at Midnight Double Feature, Twitter at MDF Pod. You can send us an email, which is midnightdoublefeature@gmail.com. There is some motherfucker next to me, like in my backyard, like it must be my neighbor. He's cutting some wood or some shit in the fucking hacksaw, and I can't look. I'm sorry, I can't escape this. So if you're hearing that in the background, I apologize.
He's gonna edit it enough where you can't hear that. No.
I hate it so much, man. I am such a fucking sound Nazi when it comes to this shit, and I just hate it. It sounds like he might as well be fucking hacksawing into my skull. Like, like I hate it so much.
You open the blinds, she's just staring directly at you.
Oh shit! All right, man. Let's get into this. Episode 6, Krazy Handful of Nothin. Directed by Bronwyn Hughes. This was a big episode in terms of transformative moments. Colin, talk to me about your overall thoughts on this episode. We'll get into the opening scene and where your mind space was, but talk to me about your overall thoughts.
I like the episode a lot. I think it's cool trying to kind of see where, what comes up must come down. And even though this ends on like a high note, the episode, it's not even on a high note, like a more action-based note. I would say that like we've had a lot of action in the last ones, like we've had a lot of crazy shit going on. But on this one, it's a little bit of a downturn where it's like Walter, again, like where he's like shored up his defenses. Everybody's okay. No one's really suspicious of what Walter is doing. No one's like watching him, like Skylar or Walt or Walt Jr. Or Hank or Marie. Like they've had their fallout and everything kind of seems like there's peace across the land for now. So he can get back to doing now I can get back to doing I've applied normalcy and people will think that things are normal. So now is a good time for me to go back and kind of pick up where I left off with this because like we talked in the last episode, obviously he's not going to accept Elliot's, proposition to pay for his treatments, even though we definitely got into it on that episode, even though that's a totally clear and legit way. We see where he's going. This is, again, it's just what he was talking about last episode. I want to be able to make a choice. And it's basically, you have made a choice, at least some kind of freedom, even though it's illegal and it's immoral and yada, yada, yada. At least he has been presented with some kind of choice, and I think that's interesting about Walter's character. No, I don't agree with what he's doing, but I agree with the reasons why he's doing it. I'm I understand why you would feel that way. I really do. But I enjoy the episode as a whole. I love the MVP of this is a little old lady who's wait to cash the check till Monday, right? And I was yeah, I fucking love that lady. The one person who comes to the store and
your MVP.
I love her in this, dude. She's great. I like the introduction of the newer characters and kind of seeing now where also Walt's ignorance to all of the criminal underworld. That element's really cool to see him actually look kind of dumb when he's been so glorified the last couple episodes. It's a good spot and it's cool. And I think there's a lot of headway between Jesse and Walt's relationship as well. There's not really a lot of Walt Jr. There's not really a lot of Marie or Skylar. This is kind of, again, we had family last episode. Now we're going to flip the coin kind of back over to the other side,
Right. This is an episode that really delves into the seedy underbelly of where Walt and Jesse are gonna operate, right? So it's good. It's a good look at it. I absolutely love this episode. This is one that kind of really hit me pretty hard when I first saw it. We'll get into the cold open because that cold open hits you like a ton of bricks, dude. It's just
yeah.
It's him he's bald. He's got scars on his face. He's got a determined look on his face. That shit looks like fucking Afghanistan. Everything's blown up everywhere. It's just what is happening? But then not only that, it's intercut with him cautioning to Jesse, I am only going to be a silent partner in this. I am only going to be the man in the shadows. You are the one on the front line selling this. There's not going to be any more violence. And then hard cut to explosions. What the fuck, dude? Get into your opening thoughts. What was going through your mind when you saw this cold open?
Well, I think that there's definitely as I'm watching the beginning of it, I'm looking and I'm dude, that one of those men is Walter White and the other one is Heisenberg. These are two totally different sides of the coin. I didn't know they were going to actually name drop Heisenberg in this episode. I didn't realize it happened so quickly. But when I saw the head shaved, I was okay, this might be this is definitely, you may not have a name, but you at least know that you have some kind of feeling of what this person will become. He's not quite Darth Vader. He's still Anakin, but I feel like in next season it will be full Darth Vader mode. But yeah, I thought it was interesting because it seems like a man who wants to have his cake and eat it too. And I really think we should refer to Heisenberg and Walter White. And I think that Walter White is, I want to have my cake and eat it too. I want to be able to do this and not be caught and get away with it scot-free. And then versus, there's also Heisenberg, who's I can't, there are no silent partners in this business. I have to be involved because one person cannot do this. Jesse going alone by himself cannot do this. I cannot do this without him. He cannot do this without me. I think there's a bit of 50-50 there because even though it's interesting, this is Jesse's world. Jesse's the one who gets the shit kicked out of him and left for dead. Walt's the one who walks out of there with fucking money, dude. That's the interesting thing about this episode is the ways that they do things are different, but their results can sometimes be the same. Jesse thinks he has no idea what he's doing. He's you can't just walk in there and do this. And that's exactly what he fucking does. He just straight walks in there and fucking does it. So I think there's definitely this is the Harvey Dent to Two-Face kind of thing. I think right here, this is where you really start getting a lot of distinction. There are some looks from Walter in this episode where I'm holy shit, you look ugly and evil and just mean, dude. And it's awesome. He actually kind of terrifies me a little bit in some parts of this episode.
Absolutely, dude. I'm so glad you actually brought that up. Like, just his facial acting, dude, is just so on point. I love the, like, with this cold open, the escalation. Like, it feels like the previous 5 episodes have been kind of building up to this. Like, like this is, like the show's called Breaking Bad, and now we're seeing the breaking of the bad. Like, it's good stuff. Like, it's fantastic. But yeah, look, he says, no matter what happens, no more bloodshed, no more violence. And then hard cut to, fucking downtown Lebanon, right? Like, it's just insane.
I like how
I don't even know if
AMC thinks that if you just put a beanie and sunglasses on somebody, they're like a scary gangbanger. Like, everybody looks kind of the same in this. It's like, calm down, dude.
God. Title card, he's getting chemotherapy. He's just lying there, dude, getting the poison pumped into him. Like, that must be, that's gonna be depressing. It looks depressing, man. And he just wants Skylar to fuck off, like, in a nice way, though. Like, he's saying he'd feel better if Skylar were home when Junior got home from school. Like, can you imagine, dude? You're getting, like, this poison pumped into you, and there's this just, like, annoying gnat just, like, annoying you, dude. Like, just, like, hovering around, like, over you. And it's just like, are you okay? Do you want me to get anything? Like, do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do that? Can you imagine how irritating that would be?
Well, yeah, I think there's something, it is kind of like having a gnat just like fly around you. And I get it. I think you can let a lot go because of the intent. The intent is not to do that. And it's like, just because you take it a certain way doesn't mean that's the intention. And like, I feel like you have to kind of keep that in mind. And I also.
Oh, wow. This is a reversal of roles, ladies and gentlemen, because I am always going to bat for Skylar, who's like, she's, it's all coming from a good place, whereas you're just like, fuck you.
Dude,
fuck you, you're a bitch.
I will say fuck you if you stage a intervention and really just want a place to be a safe space to call someone call someone out who's avoiding cancer. And it's like, that's what pisses me off. That's like totally fucked up. Like, you just being there at the office or whatever, that's nice. That's supportive. You're present. Like, that's cool. That's not dragging somebody in the living room and be like, tell me what the fuck is wrong with you. Tell me what the fuck. It's like, that's what I couldn't stand.
I can't wait to get to the support group scene. I can't wait till we get to the support group scene, dude.
It made me fucking sick. I hated this.
I know.
But I think more so than that is Walter being like, I want you to go home and deal with the child that we actually have. I don't want to feel like a child here. Like, you can go along. Like, it's cool. I got it.
It's a good point. Absolutely. She asked about the check from Elliot. Walt says it came and he took care of it. So we're good, he says. And he tells the cashier not to cash the check until Monday. Check the cash, Jesus Christ. His teaching, talking about matter and energy, chemical reactions, the change in energy. When rust collects on the underside of a car is an example of a reaction we don't notice. But reactions that happen quickly can result in enormous bursts of energy. This is interesting, right? Like, looking back on this episode, looking back on Walter as a character, it's interesting. Like, pretty much everything he teaches to his students that we see is directly or indirectly relevant to his life or what's going on at the moment. Explosions are the result of chemical reactions happening almost instantaneously. The faster they undergo change, the more violent the explosion, which is super awesome. Just fantastic writing, in my opinion, dude. Walt throws up due to the chemo, and then you get this custodian, Hugo, who's just super nice, dude. He's like, you got kids to teach.
Love him, dude.
Mr. Archuleta, as we come to know. Skylar's talking to a support group, right, about Walt losing weight. She can feel the difference when she hugs him, and the entire family's here. Dude, this must be brutal for Walt. Like, she's just crying and making it about herself, dude. She's talking about how she feels that sometimes Walt doesn't want her around. Like, it's just, like, eat my dick.
Well, even there's
Maybe
something...
I'm being aggressive, probably.
Well, there's something, also about the fact that, that nobody even bothers to ask him. No one just goes, where were you? And it's like that, but instead you, again, wait till there's, like, a public forum to do this. This is the thing that I don't like. I'm a very much so, like, I don't talk about these things in public. I would probably refuse to go to a support group. I would not dig that. But the thing about being around a whole group of people and just divulging, and everyone's just like just staring at you, and
A
everyone's
whole
just
group
and
of
I'm like,
strangers, dude.
oh.
Yeah.
I and that's the thing, I'd rather be strangers than people I know, because in this capacity, this is how this person knows me. But there's also something about that really pisses me off is like, Skyler's like, yeah, and we don't know where you are. And Walt's just like, yeah, Dad, what's up with that? And you're like, oh, I'm sorry. What a valid opinion. Way to just double up with somebody. Cool. Like, like, I don't know. There's really no specific opinion from him. But what kills me is, the counselor who's just like, maybe we'd like to know what you were doing when you're alone. And I'm like, dude, I don't like the way you said that.
Holding back from your family is the way she says it, right?
What do you want me to say? I choke hookers to death and shove them off a bridge? Like, what do you want me to say? Like, that's what I don't understand. And don't get me wrong, Bryan Cranston in reality as Walter White looks like he looks like Ted from Stranger Things. Like, he looks like he just sits in a chair and probably just like strangles small animals in the neighborhood to get out his aggression. But no, there is something fucked up about the fact they just like blow him up and put him like right on the spot. And like, again, I've never been to a group therapy session before, thank God. But I've never, I don't know how realistic this is. I have no frame of reference, but this feels a little too like intrusive. You know what I mean?
Look, not a spoiler. There's going to be more counseling sessions, not particularly with Walt, maybe with some other characters. I don't know. But, like the other ones feel a bit more realistic. Like, like this one did feel overly kind of like aggressive. Maybe it's because we're coming into it a little halfway through or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, it does, like, especially the counselor, dude. She's pushing real hard.
Yeah.
But I love Walt talking about enjoying nature, dude. Like the cacti, vegetation, as we beautifully transition over to the dynamic duo cooking in the RV way out in the desert. What do you think about that? The transition, like, halfway through the counseling session, we leave it and then we're like, all right, back to business.
Well, and I think just in terms of like, I guess filmmaking or TV making, or however, like that transition is just awesome. Like, it's so good. It's just like, we have all the information here that we need. We don't need to hang out here any longer. Let's move on to something let's move on to why you're really here. And it's like to see, some goddamn meth get cooked, motherfucker.
It's fantastic. Walt has a coughing fit. Jesse's out in a folding chair just reading a magazine. Dude, I love like Jesse fanning Walt with the magazine. Like,
yeah.
And Jesse just straight up asks, right? Like, when are you going to tell me? Cancer, you got it, right? Like, he just nails it. And he nails the fact that it's lung cancer.
Right, yeah, dude. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
Right. Turns out his aunt had radiation dots on him. Jesse just deduces that Walt's doing this to make some cash for his people before he checks out. That's a quote. Jesse even manages to, deduce that it's gone into his lymph nodes. Right, like, what do you think about that? Like him kind of like having the knowledge already.
Obviously, I think this is a good kind of, it's both of them kind of putting down to Olive Branch, because in the same scene of Jesse being like, dude, that's not cool. Like, we're partners. Like, you have to tell me that stuff and blah, blah, blah. And you could maybe put Jesse's motives of why he feels like he should know that kind of to scrutiny. Is that for business or is that for personal? Like, do you actually care? Or is this just about, he's like, no, you didn't say we're friends. You need to tell me. You said we're partners. It's like, that's a little bit different. But I like the fact that he puts everything right. But exactly what you said, he puts everything together. He's just like, click, 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 click. Oh, this is why a guy suddenly in his 50s who's never probably smoked weed in his life is all of a sudden wanting to cook meth. And it's like, oh, gotcha. Like, okay. But also at the same time with Walt being like, you can do it. And it's kind of almost like they've gone back in time a little bit, back to the classroom. And he's like, you can do it. Like, here's the chalk. Go finish the problem. And that's what it feels like, is them sitting in front of a blackboard and him giving him, I want you to fill in this equation. It feels really, really cool right here. What happened to your mad skills?
Dude, I love that line. Like, there's also, it's funny because like Walt is a very proud person, but he trusts Jesse enough to, like, for him to know that Jesse will be able to somehow get to the level of quality of the crystal meth. Like, he's not overly proud of the product, right? Like, he's not that precious about it. What do you think about that?
Well, and I think that somehow, I think that they might be kind of tapping into the thing of what we saw last episode of Jesse being like, this isn't good enough. This isn't good enough. So it's like, so obviously Walt somehow knows that he's done something of some competency, that he's done something that is actually not bad. But it's not, obviously it's definitely not something that Walt can cook up, still. But one thing that I went over that I actually really like is that Walter, we see him doing the chemo. We see him at the meeting and shit and blah, blah, blah. And it's like cooking meth is now like, it's like his fishing, it's like his happy place. It's like a weird, some guys. Yeah. So some people play video games, some people go fishing, some people strangle, random animals in their neighborhood, but this guy, he likes cooking meth. It's great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it must feel like Jesse must feel a little validated. Here is this guy who was his former teacher who literally told him to apply himself, blah, blah, blah. All Walt has done up to this point is criticize Jesse. And here's this one moment of I think you can do this. You can finish the batch because I believe that you can do this, which must feel great to Jesse, to be honest.
Yeah. So kind of a few times you don't see them bitching each other out.
Absolutely. Next time, put an ice pack on your head during chemo. My aunt said it helps with the hair loss. One of my favorite moments from Jesse, just because it's like that to me says that he cares. He gives a shit.
Right.
Gomez and Hank meet up, and this is Gomez handing the gas mask to Hank, saying that they did they had a look into the magic marker writing on the inside of the gas mask that says property of JP Wynn Chemistry Lab, Walt School. Dun dun dun. Jesse's selling the product montage, some super unsavory looking characters, but I love that there's also a dude in a full suit sprinkled into there, right? There's an actual legitimate businessman looking guy. Yeah. I love that they're not going for this stereotypical meth heads.
Yeah, that's something. For one thing, it sounds like he's selling meth to the Always Sunny in Philadelphia theme song. But then there is something interesting about there's black, there's white, there's male, there's female, there's upper class, there's lower class, there's middle class, there's kind of all this in between. And they kind of course they're going to start off, you're going to hit it where people are really going to buy, you're going to go to the swimming hole, you're going to go to the fishing hole, and that's where all the fish are. These are their fish, but it's eventually you see where to really kind of push all this stuff, they've got to actually get a decent, a decent diversity of who they're selling to,
Yeah, exactly. Nail on the head. Jesse returns to Walt, gives him a prepaid cell phone. Now, I want to talk about the prepaid cell phone real quick. And again, this is kind of me sprinkling my Better Call Saul knowledge, because I don't know if we're going to end up covering that show on this podcast. I have no idea, or whatever. But I will tell you this. It's really cool. In season 4, Saul loses his job. He stops becoming a lawyer, right? You haven't met Saul yet. You will meet Saul in Breaking Bad. But he's the lawyer. He, deals with weird clients. He's got a bit of a gray kind of area to him. Saul loses his job and takes a job at a cell phone store. They just sell cell phones. So Saul takes cell phones and sells them on the street, their burner phones, for drug dealers.
Ah, okay.
And in one of the scenes where he's selling it, it's at the Doghouse restaurant, which is where Jesse just was.
Oh, shit.
That little food place. So what we're supposed to take from that is that Saul actually sold Jesse this prepaid phone.
Damn, that's crazy. That's some Stephen King universe shit,
Honestly, dude, the amount of thought that Vince Gilligan and company have put into both of these shows and the interconnectedness of it, it's MCU level shit. It's good shit. Walt's not happy with the $1,300. Dude, I love how he initially thought it was $26,000 and he wasn't happy with that.
Well, I hope you like a tenth of that, because here it is.
Oh, God. Walt wants to know why he's not selling the pound all at once. Dude, a pound all at once? He thought Jesse was going to be ready for another pound today. Good God. This just shows how disconnected he is from this world. Just how little he knows about this.
Right. I think that Walt has a very general, this is America. You can do whatever you want. You can sell a whole pound at a time. And yeah, you can. But when you do that shit, dude, when I was a younger man and there were, because I smoked a little bit back in my day, but there were people who would not sell you anything that was more than a felony. because that way you couldn't turn around and, whatever it would be, it would be for a misdemeanor. And it's like, that's really, really, really interesting to see. And Jesse kind of says that. He's like, oh, hello, you don't just show up with here, hey, buy an offensive amount of, crystal meth for me.
It's not easy selling a tenth at a time, right? Like, that's what he says.
Right. And I mean, nobody, if that were the case, it's kind of like a thing that a snake eating its own tail. It's like the people who nickel and dime and buy like in pinches at a time aren't forward planning enough to get together, $26,000 just to buy a whole thing at once, and like, you're not going to like loan it to them. It's not, you're not going to sell them a rock on credit, it's like, it's it's interesting.
Absolutely. And this is actually something that we learned back at uni as well for the law degree. Like, they teach you about indictable offenses, and especially with drug supply. Like, I mean, I think I can't remember what the limit was for crystal meth, but I believe a pound is a commercial supply.
Yeah,
it fits into the commercial supply limit. And here, the maximum sentence for commercial supply is life.
Jesus Christ,
it's insane.
For drugs?
It's insane. Yeah.
Not
absolutely.
not for selling like guns or children or anything. We're talking about drugs, right? Jesus Christ.
We're talking about drugs.
Australia's strict as hell on that stuff, though.
There's three. Okay, so there's three offenses that can get you life in prison, right? So there's obviously murder. There's trafficking drugs in a commercial supply, and then there's sexual assault in company. So, like, kind of like a gang rape situation.
That's
good.
Those
three situations will get you life. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But there's something about selling putting the same to rape and selling drugs is the same. I was like, I don't know about that, man. I was like, that's just, I don't, over here, we call that intent to distribute. If you have enough of a certain amount, they'll say this is the borderline. If you have enough, it's considered intent to distribute. That's where you really get into trouble.
Well, look, that is the maximum. I'm not saying that that's the mandatory.
Sure.
That's not what they're going to give you immediately. But like, it obviously depends on circumstances, right? So like, how much you have, like what your priors are, things like that. So,
right.
Whatever. I know a lack of motivation when I see it. We have to move our product in bulk, says Walt. Jesse suggested they need a distributor. I used to know someone like that until you killed him, says Jesse. And it's a guy named Tuco who took Krazy 8's place. Hello, sir. Would you be interested in a felony amount of methamphetamine? But it's interesting because we kind of like get a little bit of an insight into Tuco, right? Because Jesse's scared of this guy. He says he's OG. He says it's too risky. When Jesse asks Walt to be happy with the amount of money they're making, Walt snaps and tells Jesse to grow some fucking balls. Oh, Walt.
Yeah, and he kind of scares him, too.
Walt.
You can see it kind of freaks, like, it kind of scared me, too. I wasn't expecting that. Actually, possession with intent to distribute is a felony offense in Tennessee. A felony conviction can carry highly destructive life consequences, including loss of voting and fire alarm privileges, large fines, exclusion of certain blah, blah, probation, and prison time. Doesn't even say exactly what it is, but it's definitely not anywhere. I know of a guy in Missouri who's serving life for distribution of marijuana, and there was like petitions to actually get him out and stuff. But I've never heard like that's like a 3-strike 20-year like thing. Like Australia sounds like they're like, oh, did you fart in the wrong direction?
Well, it's not. I don't know if it's in other states. I know that it's in New South Wales. So hold on, I've got it right here. If a person is in possession of large enough quantities of a prohibited substance, charges can be increased to trafficking, meaning that you are considered to be someone who, considered to be someone who is supplying drugs to others. In New South Wales, the offence of supplying a prohibited drug carries a maximum penalty of 5,550 penalty units and or life imprisonment. One penalty unit is $110. So, yeah. There we go. Interesting.
Man, it's the irony of a country founded by convicts throwing the book at convicts.
Technically not founded by convicts, colonized by convicts.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Didn't you guys kill the Indians, but... Oh, shit. Walt's visited at school by Hank, right? I love... Fucking Hank. Hank checking out the principal Carmen as she leaves. Chick's got an ass like an onion. Makes me cry.
Don't blame him. As soon as she walked in, I was just like, God damn. I was like, who is this?
He asked Walt about his inventory. Mum thought that Hank was. Oh, hold on. Okay, wait. This is my note. This is my note, personal note. So when I was watching this with my parents not long ago, my mum actually thought here that Hank was onto Walt, which I disagree. Like, I don't think that Hank is onto Walt at all. I think he's kind of like, I don't like. It's so beyond me to suspect my brother-in-law that I'm not gonna even consider him as a suspect. Like, it's kind of like blind ignorance. It's kind of like trust coming into it. What do you think about that? Because my mum was actually the way he's asking the questions, she's like, oh, I don't know, like maybe Hank's onto Walt,
Yeah, I think your mom's onto something. I think that this is Hank eliminating a suspect in a very polite way of him being like, so who's got a key? Yeah, I mean, I know you got a key, but like, who, and he's trying to be real calm about it. And he is, but because, he knows that Walt's not going to be like, do you have a warrant? He's like, what? You asked me for a warrant? I'm your brother-in-law. And it's like, he knows that's not going to happen. So it's like, it's interesting seeing what it really makes me think of is the way that Mary Lambert instructed Willem Dafoe at one point. She was like, I want to do in American Psycho, when Willem Dafoe is interrogating Patrick Bateman, she's like, I want to shoot every scene with you and Patrick Bateman 3 times. The first time you think he did it, the second time you think he did it, and the first time you have no idea. You're just there neutrally. And she split them through the movie, and you don't know which one's which. Some scenes he's like he's really onto him, and some scenes he's not. And I think that for the most part, Hank is like, man, there's no way I know Walt, blah blah. But he's a cop. The simplest explanation usually is the correct one. Here's missing equipment. This is one of the only people with a key. Don't really know what's going on here. He says nothing's missing, but obviously Hank walks in. He's like, dude, you're missing a bunch of glassware. Like, Hank, right off the rip, it's just like, dude, I've never been in here and I can see you're missing stuff. And it's like, I don't know. I don't think that he is majorly considering Walt at all, but I think that he knows Walt's been acting a little funny. And you can chalk it up to cancer and stuff, but I think the cop in Hank can't 100% just go, no, not at all. I think maybe he doesn't even highly suspect him, but I think there is something that doesn't sit quite right with Hank. I think
it's interesting. I like that take. By the way, who the fuck is Mary Lambert? It's Mary Harron.
Oh, Mary Lambert did Pet Sematary. That's who I get that confused by. Both very good directors, by the way.
You went on this huge tirade, and I'm just like, oh god, who the fuck is Mary Lambert?
I had to think, and I was like, Mary Lambert. I was like, oh yeah, she did Pet Sematary. Fuck, and Sharknado.
Oh god, what? She did the same. Yes. She did both.
She did both. what a drop! What a drop in quality from Pet Sematary, which is genuinely still a good movie. Like the '89 is still good, but oh my god! Like, I've never seen Sharknado, but I feel like if I don't know, it's kind of tongue in cheek. I don't mind stuff like that.
I've seen enough.
Yeah,
I've seen enough.
Yeah, it's at least it's not like Deep Blue Sea where they actually try and be serious.
Hey, Deep Blue Sea is a fucking masterpiece, all right? Oh, shit. But look, Hank shows him the gas mask, tell Walt that they found it near a car that belonged to one of their snitches. And dude, that makes Walt shit bricks, right? Like, he just can you imagine, dude, being Walt in this situation?
Oh, that guy you murdered? He leaked confidential information to us, and I just happen to be here.
Right. Literally, I know. Literally, there's one degree of separation.
Right.
They go check out the storeroom, ask who has the keys. No students have keys. Hank tells him not to underestimate his students because it's a big mistake. Do you reckon this applies to Jesse in a meta way?
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
So Hank tells him not to underestimate his students because it's a big mistake.
Right.
Like, in a meta way, do you think the writers are like, does this apply to Jesse?
Oh, I thought you were saying, does he supply to Jesse? And I was like, Hank? I was like, that'd be a real plot twist. Holy fuck. No, I don't think so. I think it's Hank. Again, he's a cop. The simplest explanation is this is either A, a student, or B, someone on the faculty. I doubt it's someone on the faculty. It's probably not a teacher or anybody. It'd just be fucking crazy. He's like, if you had to guess if it's one of the 1,600 kids that goes here or one of the 40 teachers, probability is it's a student.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I meant like, do you reckon the writers are kind of
Right,
like being playful here and being like Hank's advice also applies to Jesse as well in the background? Because like, I feel like Walt's, especially even in this episode, Walt's already kind of like underestimated Jesse. Like like he was really surprised about Jesse knowing about the cancer and like he was able to deduce it. So it's kind of like I don't know. Like I feel like the writers are pointing something out here.
I think so. I mean, I think it definitely could stand for it. I didn't take it upon that as a reading because they don't really hang on the moment. It's very quick, It's like that. That's
very quick,
right? That's what I took away from it. But I mean, I think that's a perfectly adequate interpretation of it, though.
That shit you pick up on a fourth rewatch, dude.
Yeah.
Hank notes that the inventory is missing equipment. Jesse calls at the worst possible time, right? Skinny Pete was in the same cell block as Tuco. They're headed in to sit down with him right now. And Hank says, some meth monkey had a feeding frenzy in here. You got to keep better watch over your turf. We don't want people to start wondering about you.
That feels very... I know he's just kind of fucking with him, but there is something where if I were Hank, there's no way I wouldn't see that look on his face and be like, okay, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like something's going on.
See, but if I didn't know Hank over the course of the last 5 hours, I'd say that I'm being suspected. But I feel like it's very in Hank's character to make a joke like that, like
Yes.
to be coy and playful and like I'm just fucking with you, man, like kind of thing.
Right. But I also think again I think he would use something like that to his advantage, though, of having that personality as someone. If you can get away with it, why wouldn't you?
Someone, right?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Skinny Pete says that he and Tuco are two nuts in a ball sack and they head in. This is super intimidating as they head up the metal cage doors, the frisking. They take the pound of meth from them. Like at that moment, you're all just like, oh, we're fucked. Like they've got the meth. Like we have no leverage at all.
The best part is walking in and that guy checks him and he's like, man, I'm Skinny Pete. Like that's my favorite.
Oh my god, dude.
Like that name should strike fear into the hearts of man or something. There's something so
with
funny
that
about
beanie
that
as well.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god.
And I love that like his nickname is Skinny Pete, but it's not even like ironic. Like it's not a 300-pound dude we're given like Skinny Pete.
Tiny,
He's actually Skinny Pete. Yeah,
right.
And we meet Tuco. Right, played by Raymond Cruz. What do you think of Tuco? This guy is a character.
Yeah, I like him pretty well. I feel like I've seen this guy before, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but I know I've seen him somewhere before.
Have you seen Training Day?
No, actually, I've only seen about half. Maybe I've seen bits and pieces of it. I've seen where Ethan Hawke is in the shower. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's the scene.
Okay.
So Ethan Hawke's sitting there playing poker or cards or whatever with those three guys, the gang members. He is one of them.
Okay.
He's like, when they're like, you ever had your shit pushed in because they've been in prison and shit, and then he's like Raymond Cruz does this thing where he overacts, especially in this scene too, in Breaking Bad. Like when he snorts the meth, he's like in Training Day, he's like, you ever had your shit pushed in, bro? Like it's fucking crazy, dude. It's fucking crazy.
I like him
man.
though, dude, because I get it. Like I think that the name obviously kind of strikes up the whole loco like vibe. There is like it kind of makes you think of the word loco, like crazy. And as I'm watching, I'm like, man, he's a little bit older, which I think is kind of intimidating. He's not a fucking kid. Like this is an actual grown ass man, and he's over here snorting this shit. And I think that what's so awesome is how he's just like dead ass, just staring at them, and then he takes one hit, and he's like, like he just goes like crazy,
dude. He's like, booyah! This kicks like a mule's balls wrapped in duct tape.
Yeah. Like, dude, I laughed my ass off. But then when I think it needed to kind of take another dive back down there, because then he's like, okay, how much you want? And he's kind of like acting a little, like you said, overacting. But at the same time, I get it. You want to feel like you don't know if this guy's going to hug you or bring a hammer out and crash your fucking hand in. And he does a good job.
Unpredictable.
He does a good job. I like him. I would actually love to see Luis Guzman in this. He's in like, oh my God. He's so fucking good,
Luis
dude.
Guzman.
I love him.
Yeah. He breaks the meth, asks Jesse to hit some before he takes it, right? Like he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Like, this could be laced with poison or some shit. After he snorts the meth, oh dude, I love his reaction, dude. Like he just gets up and he says they have a deal, and like, okay, He says they have a deal before Jesse says, I haven't said how much. Like, this is kind of like feeding into the whole intention that Tuco had no intention of paying for this meth.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that. I was like, do you think he actually ever would give him like any money for nothing at all? You know, thing?
No. I mean, we'll learn more about Tuco as the show goes on, and I think you'll be in agreement with me afterwards. It's straight up no.
Well, plus it's like, this is not somebody I regularly do business with. What do I care? You know, it's like, it'd be like a stranger being like, do you mind watching my bags? And they walk off. You're like, bye. Right. Like, what do I care? There's no repercussions.
But it also says, exactly. It also says a lot about like the way Tuco handles his operation, right? Like, he's very dishonorable. Like, you know, like he doesn't honor like the art of the deal, rather. Like, he's just like, all right, you bought me a pound of meth as goodwill. I'm going to keep it.
He's a very poor businessman. Did not finish reading my book, The Art of the Deal. I did love his hands, though. They're fantastic hands. Giant hands. They're huge.
It's an elephant. What was the thing where it's just like camera, man, TV?
Oh, dude, I don't even know. It's something. It sounded like it sounds like it woke up the Winter Soldier in Russia, and he just started murdering people.
Oh, dude, it's good stuff. Says that this is a consignment operation and plays the "you don't trust me" card, right? Tough shit, the deal is done. And this goes south so quickly. Jesse tries to make a break for it, but is dragged back. Eventually, Tuco goes over to the safe, pulls out the cash, but beats Jesse with the money. Nobody moves crystal in the South Valley but me, bitch.
That's gotta fucking hurt so bad, dude. Money's heavy. Like, that's one thing I was watching something on with Vice. They were talking to bank robbers, and they're like, dude, money is fucking heavy. They're like, when you have a duffel bag full of it, and it's like, yeah, just filling this thing out. And the thing is, it's still banded, so they're like bricks, like getting fucking whacked. Yeah. I was like, oh my god, that's gotta hurt.
I'm just picturing like Robert De Niro in Heat, just like running down the street with the fucking duffel bag.
In a three-piece suit with a big dick and a gun.
Oh god, I just want to the sound of that gunfire. I live for that sound of the gunfire.
Yeah.
Custodian Hugo is arrested by Hank and the DEA in a very public arrest. We got 2 words for you. Background check, says Hank.
That's fucking bullshit. And then they got the
playing poker. Yeah, we'll get to this. So they're playing poker as a family. Mentions to Skylar that the school is getting a substitute for 2 weeks, says Walt. And then Junior asks about Mr. Archuleta and his arrest. Has a record, couple of possession beeps, fit the profile, found a blunt. Good old huge Hugo ain't so cool after all, says Hank.
This is fucking bullshit.
I'm waiting for you. Picking up I paused there. And I'm just like, here we go.
Yeah, this is bullshit, man. And you know, I get it. It's even if you smoke pot and you work anywhere like near a county building, or you're a teacher, or you're a janitor at a high school, like, dude, you don't bring a blunt to your car to like, oh my God, I'm not a teacher. I'd never do that. Like, you're out of your fucking mind. But also at the same time, I think it is kind of what really pisses me off is that Hank is like, they publicly arrest him there. It's embarrassing. He's obviously going to lose his job, lost all the shit, and then he's like,
not even like a hey, can you come speak with us? Blah blah. Like,
what evidence do you even have to arrest him in the first place? And you arrested him, which probably he might not have lost a job had they not arrested him at work and kind of exposed this to like everyone there. But yeah, that's just fucking bullshit to like then arrest him and then be like, oh, well, you had a blunt in your car. So it's like, oh, cool. Well, he's going to get a year probation and go get some other job somewhere else. It's like, that's it. It was basically, I don't know. It's so fucking stupid and such a waste of time. But, God, there's your fucking tax dollars hard at work. No, just me start foaming at the mouth. An American flag drops behind me and a spotlight comes on.
This is goddamn Trump's America.
No, I do. And I think it's bullshit too. And there's, especially they do such a great job building him up, and he gives Walt the stick of gum, and you're like, God damn it, dude. Like it's, even nice people can do illegal things, and they're not inherently bad. You know what I mean?
Well, it's interesting because, Walt's, like, you can see he feels bad about this. Like, he's just like, oh, God. Like what's he ask Hank here? He's talking about, like, is it really necessary or shit like that? Like, is he going to lose his job, blah, blah, blah. Like, Walt is not Scarface, like, he is not bulletproof. Like, he's not he's not a badass. He's still got feelings, especially for this Hank person, you know?
Right. He's like, he straight up tells him, Hugo doesn't strike me as a thief. Well, nothing personal, Walt, but you wouldn't know a criminal if he was close enough to check you for a hernia.
Right. And that's interesting. That's interesting given the advice that Hank gave to Walt earlier about the students being like Walt underestimating students, but here's Hank underestimating Walt.
Right. There's something absolutely amazing and I don't want to, you leave because I'll end up probably jumping over your shot. I'll end up ruining your notes somehow. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't. There's a part that I want to get to.
We're talking about this scene. Yeah,
okay, I don't want to cut you off. You go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to talk about, Walt feeling guilty, ask what's happening to Hugo. Dude, Hank has to be the worst poker player to play with. Like, he's just like constantly, you're gonna man up or you're gonna puss out. Like, he's got that whole like posture about him. And Walt goes all in. Hank folds with a better hand. Walt had literally the worst pocket hand, the 2 and 7, signifying that Walt is actually able to outsmart and fool Hank, who thinks he's king shit. And that's it. What do you want to get to?
The part where he literally, like what you said, he's like, are you going to puss out, or are you going to man up? And it cuts to Skyler's like, Hank, and then it cuts to Walter, and he's just like, I will fuck your mouth shut. Like and the look on his face is like, I will break your teeth and put them in a soup for you to drink. Like, it's a horrible. He's like, what you smoking there, huh? And it's like kind of, and when he said, what you smoking there, I was just like, dude, that feels like Hank being like, hey, I know you smoke a little weed. It felt like a little bit of a jab. And then jab. Right. And everything starts getting a little bit crazier until finally he folds. And that's my favorite part. I love that where it just, and he's like, I'm all fucking in. And Hank's just like, no, fuck it. I'm done. I'm good. I know when he is overconfident in how he perceives Walter. He has underestimated Walter, exactly like what you said.
Right, exactly. And I'm not going to obviously spoil the rest of the show, but I love that this, like, Hank has the best hand, right? Like, Hank has such a good hand, even Marie picks up on it. This is kind of like you have everything at your disposal to catch this guy. You have all of the weapons, you have all of the forensics, you have all the stuff, but this guy is going to use whatever he has at his disposal, which is basically nothing to outsmart you. Like, right. That in itself is a story.
I forgot there was something I meant to mention with our last episode of like, I've given Marie a lot of shit and I still hate her, but there is actually something awesome. I had to throw this in of last episode. I meant to bring this up when they're having the intervention where she's like, I think we should consider what Walt says. I might have brought that up, but as much as I talk so much shit about her, I wanted to like high five her to death in that moment. I was like, 100%. Thank you, dude. Thank God. And I was like, if I'm going to be an asshole about that character, I've at least got to admit when something really hits me, like, yes, thank you. Fucking somebody in the room said what I wanted to say. I really hate it was you. I kind of wish it was somebody else, but that's cool, You
have no idea how, like, when I'm putting together notes for this show, like, just how, like, in my head, I'm thinking about the moments that you are cheering about and the moments that you are just, I hate this so much. You know? Like, it's so good. Like, it's so good that after 6 episodes, I've got this beat on you. You know, like, I've got it. I've nailed it.
I have an intolerance for, like, whiny cunts, and this show has, like, several of them, and I'm just like,
oh, there's the vomit noise.
Yeah.
Walt's hair begins to fall out in the shower. Walt finds Jesse in the hospital with a neck brace. Skinny Pete says that he's got some busted ribs. I was all like, damn, Tuco, chill, essay. Says Skinny Pete.
I love when he's like, are you the dude? He's like, yep, I'm the dude. And I'm like, whoa, no hesitation for him to be like, yep, it's me. I was like, whoa, that makes me think of Dark Knight Returns, where we just covered recently, where he's like, I'm Bruce. And I'm like, oh my God, like, why? Like, no hesitation, dude, you're crazy. But he doesn't give him his name, though. I was like, cool, I dig that.
Right. Walt wants to know more about Tuco. Tell me everything about him, he says. And we, like, fade into this piss, dude, like, just the piss hitting the water. God, I can smell this, like how you can just sometimes smell like a scene or like smell an image. Right. I can smell it.
Right. It's awful, man.
Essentially, these meds are killing Walt. His hair is ridiculously thin as he pops these pills, and he decides to dish the hair preemptively. Apparently, and this is unconfirmed, I wish I did a little bit more research into this, Vince Gilligan and some of the crew shave their heads, like as Bryan Cranston shaved his head too.
Cool.
Kind of like a solidarity situation. Yeah.
Well, because he had to
And
keep that look
breakfast
up for like a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
He had to keep that shit going.
Absolutely. He had some breakfast. Skylar and Junior's reactions are fantastic, dude. Like, Skylar just, breaks down, and Junior's just like, the badass, dad.
Yeah. I also, one thing is just when Walter is popping the pills and looking at the thinning of his hair, it's like, this is exactly what he was talking about last episode of not wanting to do. And it's like, yeah, in the moment, I get it. Like, there's hope and we can do it. And then now it's like, yeah, but you're the only one alone here in the bathroom watching this. Everybody else who was there telling you, that what you needed to do is now not here to help you with this. And it's like, they can't really do anything. I get that. But it's like, man, there's something about that that's just like everybody there telling you this is the right thing, but you're the one ultimately who suffers from it. You're alone. That really got me.
Only you are the one that's looking down, like, as the piss leaves your dick and hits the bowl and there's blood in it. Like, that's only you that's able to see that.
Right.
Ugh. Walt heads into Tuco's place with what we think is another pound of meth. I want to talk to Tuco, and I'm not leaving until I do. And Walt introduces himself as Heisenberg.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That I got like goosebumps when he's like, okay, Heisenberg. And it's like, oh, that's so cool, dude. I love it.
So good, dude. Like, Walt is like standing his ground. He's stoic as shit. And he asks for $50,000. $35,000 for the meth that Tuco stole, and another $15,000 for Jesse's pain and suffering.
There's something very about Walt right here that I'm like, dude, I would love to see him play like old Jonathan Crane from like Batman. Like if he were Scarecrow, like there's something, I know a lot of people have said like, oh, Lex Luthor or like Riddler. And like, yeah, there's a cool, but I think there's something about, maybe it's the chemistry thing of using this, there's something about it that actually kind of gives me like a Scarecrow vibe, but it's honestly just like, the fact that Walt can be this totally nondescript, just like guy, but then at the same time turn into this like fucking demon. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I'm going to take a little bit of a detour here to read about the name Heisenberg, because why not now?
Was that Werner?
Walt takes his straight. Yeah. Walt takes his street name from Werner Karl Heisenberg, who lived from 1901 to 1976, who was a German theoretical physicist. Heisenberg is known for the, quote, uncertainty principle in quantum physics that asserts that there is an intrinsic limit on the accuracy with which pairs of properties can be simultaneously known. Heisenberg was referring to physical properties of particles such as velocity and position. The more precisely one is known, can be known or... The more precisely one is known, the less precisely the other can be known or determined. At any given instant, you can accurately know one or the other, but not both. The more Walt becomes Heisenberg, the less certain we are of Walt. Sure, Walt could have just gone for Chameleon Man or given the southwestern context Gila Monster, but you have to admit Heisenberg has style and dash. Like, I mean, it ties into exactly what Walt, like Heisenberg was doing back in the day, It's good stuff, man. I really dig it. But let's get into this. Tuco's doing the intimidation play, right? Putting the cigarette out on his tongue. So you must be daddy, he says.
How did they film that? Because that looks legit. I'm not going to lie. That looks legitimate. Yeah. And like that, I know we both kind of agree this guy's a little bit of an overactor. I'm like, yeah, that's giving it though. That's selling that shit. Like that's amazing. That's a whole other level of like putting a fucking cigarette out on your tongue. Holy shit. Like that's dedication, man.
Talk about intimidating. But Walt doesn't crack, right? He says, I steal your dope. I beat the piss out of your mule boy. And then you walk in here and you bring me more meth. And then he says, you got one part of that wrong. This is not meth. And then boom. What do you think of this?
So I didn't know that this is when this was going to happen, but this was one of the things that I knew because I think it was I Fucking Love Science did a whole article about like whether you could actually do this or not. And they're like, yes, well, it would like explode a little bit. It's not this big of an explosion and blah, blah, blah. But I like the fact that Walter, the fact that Heisenberg here actually doesn't kill anybody. Like, it's almost like he's still kind of pleasing the Walter side of it, of just like, there's no more violence. You're not going to, and truth be told, he doesn't kill anybody, which is amazing.
It's like a stun grenade, right?
Right, exactly. He's like that fucking douchebag with the riot shield and just keeps pinging those flashbangs into your corner. But yeah, and I like the fact that this is enough for Tuco to just like respect him. He's like, here you go, cool, see you later. You know, like, dude, you're a ballsy motherfucker, man. And at the end, he's just kind of like asking for more too. That's the crazy part. Not only did you get what you want, you got this guy hooked like a fish. That's the best part of the whole thing.
Absolutely. I mean, like, you know, how, like Tuco says, sometimes you got to rob to get your riches. Walt pulls him in. He says, Tuco wants more crystal because, like, the crystal sold, quote, faster than $10 ass in Tijuana. He wants another pound. And Walt, like, kind of like bends his arm into taking 2 more pounds, right? Because Walt is not happy with the amount of return that he's getting on 1 pound. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. And Walt walks out into what looks like a war zone, opens the bag in the car, and just growls when he sees the money, dude. Like, what a rush that was.
I know.
Like, just that triumphant growl. But my favorite moment of this entire thing, as he's growling and yelling to himself, the coughs start again. Like, he's starting to cough again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like a little reminder that you are not the person that you think you are. Like, this is a great triumphant moment for you, but here's life about to fucking kick you in the ass again with the coughs.
Right.
Good
yeah,
stuff.
exactly. I think you're 100% right of like these, there's a great song it makes me think of by Faith No More called A Small Victory. And it's like, it's a small victory. It's like, yeah, you won a battle, but you're ultimately you're going to lose the war.
Yeah,
probably going to lose the war.
Probably. Well, and if that's your official prediction, then there you go. And that's episode 6, Crazy Handful of Nothin. Colin, what did you think, and where do you think this is going to go next episode?
I like this episode pretty well. I think it's time to, we see a little bit of Walt's like badassery. We see him and Jesse. It's not all business. I think that this is going to be, it's kind of like watching somebody army crawl through the mud. Like, I feel like we've just taken like a big step forward, and that the stories will, because his whole family's pacified now. Everybody's back on his side. He's still got Jesse. Like, he kind of has everything right as he wants it right now. He like everybody's cool with him on this side of, Walter White's family, and over here with Heisenberg, everything's A-okay too. So it's like, but what comes up must come down. So I feel like it's like you said, it's a small victory. So like, what's going to come of this? Like, I don't see this actually going anywhere really good, because at the same time, yeah, you might be selling this stuff and you might have gotten like the criminal element, like to actually respect you and make business. At the same time, the cops are on you like crazy now. They know where you get, they found your supplier. They know where your supplies came from, like that's fucking over.
Right. The vice is closing in, but there's this level of like escalation, right? Because now you have a distributor. Now you have someone who trusts in your product and trusts in you to be pretty ruthless. So, do you reckon we're going to see more of Tuco?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I feel like eventually Tuco is going to be like, you didn't tell me your brother-in-law's a DEA agent. Like, that's a little bit of a problem, dude. I feel like that's definitely going to come up, and I think we'll definitely see more of Tuco. I'm wondering if Krazy 8 will come back up at all, because I know that that he was talking about the snitch and stuff, and that kind of got Walt's attention. And is that going to be brought up to anybody that he was actually a snitch and they were trying to kill Jesse for it and shit? Like, that's what's interesting to me about that whole dynamic. It might just be over and done with, but and I'm interested. I feel like this was a very like mild Walt Jr. episode, so I kind of think there might be a little bit more with him in the next one. It feels like every time there's like like they put somebody off in the back burner, the next episode it feels like they're kind of up to bat. It's like a rotational thing.
Keep in mind though, the next episode is the season final.
Oh, okay. I thought it was okay. Never mind. I thought we were one more away from that.
Yeah. So this is episode 6. The next episode is the season final, and that's the one that caps off season 1. So, I mean, yeah, like you gotta like with your expectations, you gotta kind of be like, okay, well, I mean, are they going to really want to try and fit in Walt Jr. moments here when there's potentially other bigger stuff that they need to cover?
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we've gone through a whole season of this already. Holy shit.
So good, right? I mean, like, well, look, in all fairness, this is the shortest season. Usually there are about 13 episodes. I think the last season 5, is 16 episodes. It was split into 2. But yeah, I mean, look, man, we're already one season down, basically. How good is that?
Hey, I'm digging it. I'm digging it.
Nice. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here in Bad Crystal. This has been fun. Colin, close us out, as per usual.
Hey guys, yeah, if you want to find us outside the show, you can find us on Facebook at Midnight Double Feature or the group attached to that called The After Party. You can find us on Twitter at MDFPod or Instagram at Midnight Double Feature. Shoot us an email, midnightdoublefeature@gmail.com. Be sure to rate and review us on iTunes to let us know how we're doing. Sorry, I tried to do that all in one breath. No, you guys know where to find us on our socials. Obviously, if you can sign up for the Patreon and help us out, it's going to be fantastic. If you can, please stop by, rate, review us on iTunes. Every little bit helps. And please visit our website, midnightdoublefeature.com. That is going to be, it's weird plugging that in socials now because it's like, whoa, we just for so long we're doing this without a website, and like that's absolutely crazy. But I'm hoping you guys enjoy what we have over there. And yeah, if you have any constructive criticism, you have any questions or any suggestion for the show, or I would love to hear people's input and be like, this is what I think and what you might have left out. Still interesting to me. Shoot me some shit, dude. I love hearing other people's thoughts. But I think it is time for us to get out of here, and we will catch you guys on the apparently season finale of Breaking Bad season 1.